What is going on, members of the Shy Guy Squad? My name is Dan, otherwise known as Danekii, and welcome back to the NPL Minors Season 4. This is week 2 against Tone of the Maine Red Clawitzers, as you see right there. And he's coming off a pretty strong win against that Fries from last week where he won 2-0, and we're coming off of a bit of a rough loss against the Portland Trail Blazekins in a 2-0 loss that we had last week. But we're here today against Tone and his Maine Red Clawitzers. If you guys don't know what we're bringing, be sure to check out the team builder that went up yesterday on July 31st. But right now, as a quickly recap, I have brought myself today the Mimikyu, the Celesteela, the Mega Manetric, which is very physically defensive actually. Let me see if I can get you guys the accurate spreads. I probably should have had these open just so I can quickly go over them. But with that being said, I have a Life Orb Mimikyu, an Akaberry Celesteela, a physically defensive Mega Manetric with enough speed to outspeed Scolipede. I have a kind of defensive but also offensive Nidoqueen. I have a Z-move Kyurem Black and a Choice Scarf itself with enough speed to outspeed the Scolipede. So with that being said, as you guys can see, Tone has brought himself today the exact same team that I faced in my mock with my good friend Aberforth. So he has brought himself today Entei, Clefable, Scolipede, Latios, Circuitry, and Excadrill. Now, let it be known, in the mock, I got 6-0'd by this. I played like absolute garbage. It was the exact same team, like the exact same 6 months, and I got tossed on my ass. Like, I got 6-0'd flat out. Like, my team stood no chance. But I learned from that mock what was important, what to preserve, what not to preserve, and just how to play around his team. So with that being said, let's click play on normal speed. I'll go through the plays as we go and then see how it goes. So I'm gonna lead. He's gonna lead off with Clefable, and I'm gonna lead off here with my Celesteela. Right off the bat, I see I'm having a pretty decent lead actually, which doesn't very often happen. So I'm very happy about this. And what this means for me is I can freely click Heavy Slam or Toxic or any sort of a thing that I need. I can even try to go for a Leech Seed trying to predict something to switch in. So that being said, I think he's going to switch out, of course, because that's my staying. So he switches into the Hyozan Ryu, the Diamond Dragon. Of course, he's got Navi, and I predict that clicking Leech Seed, so I set myself up for a bit more of an ideal situation. He goes for Calm Mind on my Protecto, which is very unfortunate. So we know that this Latios has Calm Mind, but its coverage is still unknown to us. So he goes for a second Calm Mind as I drop the Heavy Slam on him, doing 45%, leaving him easily in a range of where I can knock him out. But he goes for Roost. So now we know he has Calm Mind, Roost, which means he's 2 attack. Now what his 2 attacks are, we're not sure of yet. So he's gonna go for the Thunderbolt, which somehow didn't have an animation. Let's play that back. Like, let's just play that back. I just want to see if we get a Thunderbolt animation this time, because that was weird. Let's see. Can we get a Thunderbolt animation? Hold on. Like, this is huh? Yeah, there we go. Cool. So I lived on 0.3%, or very accurately like 1 HP, I'm pretty sure. And if I remember, I don't remember the calc exactly, but I don't think this meant he was max invested, because I should not have lived a Latios Leftovers +2. I'll get up the calc here in a second for you guys. So let's get a Leftovers +2 Thunderbolt and see how much that does to my Celesteela, which just was 240 HP, no spit F investment. So he got a very low roll on me, because the roll for him on me was 98.7 to 116.4% at +2 if he was max special attack and timid. So this was a very unfortunate roll for Tone. And what this means is I can pop off a Toxic on this thing, which means that next turn he is going to take quite a bit of damage. And if he decides to Roost, that's whatever. I'm going to swap out here into my Plasma Biceman in case he's going to go for the Thunderbolt again, trying to catch that Lightning Rod as I normally do. And this Latios is quickly being very weakened, but I'm going to switch back into Celesteela right here to figure out his other move, which is Ice Beam, which now means that my Celesteela is down, but I've learned a lot about this Latios. I know its entire coverage, and I can send a Mimic here, go for the Shadow Sneak, and pop it out. So and he sees my Life Orb, which I misseviewed a little bit because he takes 10% every time, which means I only have 10 hits instead of 11. And he sends in the Excadrill, which is Null Breaker. Now I have the thought that this thing is Scarf, and I make a hard swap in here to Cure him. Now the reason why I went into Cure him was I knew I could live in Iron Head if he went for that, but I felt like his play was to click Earthquake, but I couldn't switch into Zelf because Null Breaker is gonna just make sure the Levitate doesn't matter, and Earthquake was gonna pop. Do a lot to Mimikyu, was going to do a lot to kill Manectric, going to kill my Nidoqueen. So I felt like Cure him was the one thing that could take a hit here. And you guys are about to see, he goes for the Iron Head, and I take 77%. Now, the thing that I've done now is I've set into the mind zone that this might just be a Scarf Cure meant to outspeed Scarf Excadrill, or +1 Excadrill due to Speed Pass or whatever. So I'm sitting in a pretty comfortable but pretty scary scenario. And what I'm going to do right here is I have Z Free Shock or Sub-Zero Slammer at a base power of 200. And I'm going to pop that Z move. And this turn, just going to let you guys know right now, this turn took very long. This turn took very long, so I was nervous as hell. Because he was probably trying to figure out, am I Scarf, am I not Scarf, why did I switch hard into Cure him on a Excadrill, and other things like that. But he goes into the Clefable, and I pop my Z move, I break that Sub-Zero Slammer, and that Clefable is gone. Just straight up dead. And he goes back into this Excadrill, which now to me confirms that this thing is Scarf. Because he saw I pop the Z move, so I know this thing is Choice Scarf now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sack off Cure him here. Probably could have used it a little bit better. But what this means is I can go into Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is holding a Shuka Berry and has 124 investments in defense, meaning I can take a hit from this thing, and then I can kill it. And that is, he's going to swap out, because I guess he is expecting me to be Shuka Berry. And I do 60% to Scolipede. Now, Nidoqueen is specifically built to deal with Scolipede, not Excadrill. I have on this Nidoqueen Roar, as you guys remember from Team Builder if you watched that yesterday. And that is in case he tries any of that substitute baton pass bullshit. So he's going to do that right now. He's going to go for the substitute, and I'm going to roar him out. So, now I want you guys to know something that was just crazy here. We were waiting for Tone. He went to cook in the middle of this game. He made himself a bunch of food. And we were, like, I was nervous as hell. I was like, where'd he go? Is he okay? Has something happened? And he just leaves to cook. And then he comes back during the, then he comes back on the Earth Power there, when I went for Earth Power. When that play went through, he came back and was like, he was cooking. And everyone was scared of him, people watching the game and everything. But, it was fine. It was just cooking, you know, as you do in the middle of a game, without letting your opponents know that you have to do something real quick. But anyways, he swaps into Entei here after the Roar, and what this means is he's going to go for a Sacred Fire. It does 66%. He doesn't burn me as I set up my rocks. Now I went for rocks specifically because this puts pressure on his Scolipede, which is now 21%, which you guys can't see, but you saw from the Earth Power and stuff and the substitute. So Earth Power did 60%, then substitute takes 25, so then yeah, Black Sludge, so he's at 21%, meaning if he comes in again, he dies to Stealth Rocks. Excadrill, we can find out if it has leftovers or if it is Scarf or whatever. Circuitry, of course, going to take some chip, and of course this Entei, which is a huge threat to my team, so it's going to take chip every time it comes in. So, I set up my rocks, and what happens here is kind of huge for the game. Now, for this was kind of a huge turning point in this game, because him missing that Sacred Fire allows me to click Earth Power, and what that does is it puts it in range of everything on my team. Like, I don't have to risk Mimikyu's Disguise on it, I don't have to risk taking a lot of damage on Entei or Zelf. A Zelf can click Psychic now and knock it out, Manectric can click Volt Switch and knock it out, so him missing the Sacred Fire put me in a very advantageous spot. So he's going to click a third Sacred Fire and knock me out, so that's kind of unfortunate, but in comes Winkaribo, my very good friend and trusty partner. I knock out this Flame Will. I'm assuming it's going to be Flame Will Gardener or something. I'm not quite sure which one. But Drillago comes in again. He swaps out, making that double into Centicle, trying to see what I was going to do. And I just clicked Psychic because I wanted to put him in range of a Flamethrower. In comes Live Wire though. So now he has this thing and Excadrill. I have my Choice Scarf itself, my physically defensive Manectric, and a Mimikyu behind the disguise. What this means is Tone has an issue for clicking Thunderbolt, because if I predict that and switch into Manectric, he's kind of in a pickle. He can't really, like, I also have a free switch into Mimikyu, and Azelf is capable of taking one hit, so what he does here kind of matters. So let's play. I click Psychic, which is 57%, meaning it's a 2-hit KO. And Tone clicks Dazzling Gleam, which didn't even do half. So what this means is I can just knock him out on the following turn. And now my game plan is kinda straightforward. Go into one of the two mons I have in the back, Mimikyu or Mega Manectric. Sack that one to go into another one. Get some damage off. Then go into Azelf and kill him with a Flamethrower. And that is exactly what I'm going to do, is I'm going to swap out here into my Necroshade, the Mimikyu, as my opponent goes off for the Earthquake, meaning, since I live that, I can put him in range of a Flamethrower from Azelf, which does a minimum of 75% to an uninvested Excadrill, so no HP, no speed F. Assuming he has some speed for or some HP according to speed creeping, he still can't hit that mark where Flamethrower does a min of 68 or whatever. So I have him in a very good range right here. And I'm gonna click Flamethrower and I get a crit to just seal the deal regardless. I don't think it matters, but I'm sure Tone will tell in his commentary, which you guys should check out, links in the description, to both him and everybody else involved with the NPL, being the Majors coaches, the Minors coaches, the Analysts, the fan Discord, which you guys should join and support the Roseradenborg. But with that being said though, we knock out the Excadrill and we take a 2-0 victory, meaning that your Roseradenborg is now 1-1 with a neutral differential, so we kind of cancel out that loss against Andrew and the Portland Trail Blazeskins from last week. With that being said, if you guys have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you thought of the battle. Next week we're taking on Mio of the Oklahoma City Thunderous, which will go up on the 8th of August, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And with that being said, I will talk to you all next time. Have a great day. With that being said,
weapon time. I sacrifice 2 cards and activate Wings to a level 10 monster. And it gets better too. By sacrificing himself, Kuriboh destroys all monsters in attack mode and deflects their attack points back as damage to you. Kuriboh, why don't you go ahead and show him how it works? Ah!
before I wrap up, I just want to give a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters that you see on screen right now, helping me with my goals and also with future problems. With that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.